things they said I had to replace. Ruby, fine. Gas control valve.
Mm-hmm.
And chamber sensor. And when I looked up chamber sensor for the part, they gave me the part numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It was called a chamber sensor replacement kit.
Okay. They tell you why you got to replace both of them if it's just one of them?
Well, I asked, I go, can I replace just one? And they said, no, you should replace both at the same time. And when I looked up, so if you go to Rheem, it shows me the picture of that, but it doesn't show me the picture of the chamber sensor replacement kit. It's blank.
Mm-hmm.
But it does say, oh, by the way, if you're replacing this, you need this. And it's like a little kit that had like a square or a rectangular gasket looking thing with maybe this piece that has this on it, this hardwired thing, like that part along with it.
Okay. So, yeah, that's the pilot assembly. I don't think there's any reason to replace that. I do these service calls all the time. So the parts I have are used, they're not brand new.
Right.
You know, just so you know.
Yeah, that's fine. This thing's not even warranty anyway, so it's not that big a deal.
You're just trying to
bring
it back to life, right?
Exactly.
And get some more hot water out of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can change the valve. Usually, I mean, it flashed twice, and then it flashed 7 times. So 2 is thermopile voltage is low, right? But if it was really low, which I can measure it right now, it wouldn't really be flashing at all. Thanks. It wouldn't really be flashing at all.
Okay.
So sometimes when the valves are bad, it'll throw that code. So it'll throw a code 2, which is the thermopile voltage. So I'll just measure it while I'm here, just to make sure.
Okay.
I can change the chamber sensor for you if you want. I do have a chamber sensor. It's not the exact same model as the one that's in there. I probably wouldn't do that. I'd just keep the one that's in there. I know you don't want to deal with a chamber sensor like 4 days from now. I don't know if that's what it turns out to be. And sometimes that happens. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes you get them. You replace a valve when it says it's the valve, and next thing you know, then it moves on to another code, right, and starts doing that.
Right.
So I can change them both if you'd like. It'll be a chamber sensor. It'll be a different chamber sensor, but it'll still work. It'll function as it's supposed to. It'll detect any. All that's for is if the burner assembly gets too hot, or there's too much heat, or there's too much flame, the chamber reaches a certain temperature, right? And then it will trigger that sensor that will cut the circuit for the motherboard. So it just shuts everything down. It's just a safety.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just a safety thing. So you'll have it. So we can either leave your old one in there if you'd like, or I can put a different one in if you'd like. I just don't have that exact same one. But usually usually it's just you get one problem, you fix that problem. Sometimes you'll get another problem, sometimes you won't. But it's up to you. So you want me to change it, I'll change it. I can leave the old one here for you.
Whatever you feel is the best. I mean, like I said, this was just a recommendation they gave me over the phone, so.
Yeah, were they trying to sell you parts?
No, because, well, yes and no, right? So they said, you're no longer under warranty. Go to Rheem.com to buy your parts. So basically, and it was Rheem I was talking to, so I guess, yes, maybe.
Yeah.
And of course, their parts are outrageously expensive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, new parts, it's like you're halfway into the cost of a new water heater.
Exactly. For the 2 parts alone, I could have went to Home Depot and got a new water heater.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So I told my wife, you know what? Since this thing's no longer even in warranty, let's just see if we can fix it and get a little bit more life out of it. And we'll save up for a new water heater, and when that time comes, we'll make that move. But I figure if we can get a little more life out of it for cheaper, let's do it, right?
Yeah.
Because I know everybody says if it's
I'm all about it.
It's done. And
it's definitely done if it's leaking.
Yeah, so luckily we don't have that issue.
Okay. So what I'll do today then is I'll change the valve.
Okay.
I'll fire it back up. I'll hang out for a little while. We'll see if the code 9 shows up. I'm testing your thermopile voltage right now. New, they're like 750 millivolts. That's brand new, right? 750, 800 millivolts. So this is still climbing, which is good. It'll get even higher once the flame is burning, right? Because it creates more heat, and it turns the heat of the pilot flame into voltage,
Okay.
and then sends that back through here to control the valve. So you seem like you're pretty, I mean, it's lower than I would like. I'd love it to be, 550, 600 or something like that. But you're okay. You should be able to run for a little while off of the one that's there.
So if the one that we have there ends up going out, sorry, my legs keep hurting.
Oh yeah, no worries.
And I need you to come back and replace that. How would that work?
So if it's in a, like if I change the valve today, and you call me 2 days from now, and you say I got the chamber sensor, I'm not going to charge you another. Just come out, I'll change that out. We can come up with something that is reasonable for you. That isn't, where I'm coming out, spending my time chasing parts all the time.
Right.
And
that's
then,
my only concern. Like if
if it starts adding up.
Yeah, I wouldn't want you to waste your time having to come back. But I see it keeps climbing. You're almost at 500 now.
Yeah, I'm almost at 500.
So
I think your thermopile voltage is probably fine. Something that you can do is it gets like a little bit of soot on it because it's got a flame on it. Sometimes you can clean it off and get like another 100 millivolts out of it just by cleaning it. Like a little bit of lightly sandpapering it, or just cleaning it off, or even just rotating it to the fresh side will cause that to happen. If I was going into the burner assembly today, I would do that. I would just do, because it's already out and I'm into that. This is your chamber sensor right here. It also gets stuff on it. So, we'll probably keep because I didn't see that flashing. Yeah, we're right at 500, but it's still climbing. And remember, it's going to go up another 50 millivolts when there's more heat in there, because it's going to pick up that heat. But
so
then
you're comfortable with that?
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
If you were at like 400 or 350 or something, yeah, and I just changed your valve, you'd be calling me in 4 months going, it's flashing twice on me now. Now it's flashing 9 times on me. Now it's flashing this many times. And that's what these do. So yeah, that's right. It still wants to climb a little bit. So you're probably good there. So yeah, we're at 501. So I'll change the valve. I got to go to my truck to get a valve.
Okay. Can I get you something to drink? Some ice water, a beer?
I would love a beer, but I got another service call after this, and I got to drive, And I totally lose focus. And
you'd be like, it's bar time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Water, if you got it, would be great.
All right, no worries.
Appreciate it. Okay, so doing a service call. And we got a bad valve. So we're going to change that out. You can see you just remove the cover, disconnect everything. There's a screw down here at the bottom. You pull that. There's a couple tabs. One to the lower right, one to the lower left. Little clips. Depress those. And you get the valve out. We'll set that over there, and I'll go. So most of these valves are off of water heaters that leak, So the valves are still good. They're all pretty kind of ubiquitous. I mean, they port across. They all do the one thing. They just open and close, let gas in, turn gas off. That's it. I mean, they're real simple. All the brains of the water heater, all the calculations and sensing the temperature and all that is done through the motherboard, which gets its power from the thermopile, and then it senses the water through the temperature of the water through this ribbon cable right there.
So is that what goes out on these? Is that little motherboard?
No, your valve.
The valve
Well, the
itself?
motherboard is saying, that the valve is bad.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it could be the board or it could be the valve. Sometimes you'll get false codes like that when the board is bad, and we'll know that. So if I change a valve, it still comes up 7, which sometimes they do come up and you got to clear them out. And then you throw another one in there, and you throw another one in there, and it's like, what are the odds that I just grabbed 4 bad valves in a row, right? So then that's probably not it. So then you put a different cover on, or a different circuit board.
Gotcha.
And then that, yeah. So I'm hoping I don't go down that pathway today where I'm like, what, you know, just going from one, but it does happen. So problem is I don't have a, I'm running real short on these boards that take the sensors. Well, I do have some. Hopefully I have one in there. So in case this board's bad, that way we can utilize the chamber sensor. So this one doesn't take a chamber sensor, right? It's got a different type of, it's off of Bradford White, and it's got a different kind of shut-off system where it senses the temperature someplace else. It actually interrupts the flow of electricity through here. So it's like a kill switch. So that, I've done that for people where they're like, just get it working. They don't really care. They just want to, and that's fine.
Yeah, the reason I was asking about the motherboard is because the water heater was already here when I bought the house.
Right.
And so when I called them, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a 6-year warranty, and the warranty expired in April." I'm like, "What are the chances it just expired and now this goes down?" I'm like, "I have a feeling you guys are programming this thing to die on me after the 6 years is up." You know?
Why not? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, why not?
How hard would it be to program that into a little motherboard?
I don't know. I don't think it would be that hard. I don't think it knows what year and time it is. You know what I mean? To know to turn off like that. Maybe it's got like certain, maybe it keeps track of how much gas flows through it. And when it hits like, you know, 10,000 BTUs or something, then it like, but yeah, that'd be genius for them to do that, right? Believe me, I'm always ranting and raving about these things. And these valves are great. I mean, they're great because you can work on it without draining the water heater. Like, you know, the older mechanical type with the plungers and you do all that. Those things are just kind of bulletproof. They just kind of work. People like those. I've had people pay me to come out and convert it back to that because they're so tired of the flashing lights, and they're just because they're sensitive. You know, they're real sensitive and picky, and sometimes they just shut down. I mean, honestly, I haven't had a chance to do like an autopsy on a valve where I've actually opened the valve up to see what's wrong with it, to figure out if it's repairable or not. Here's your old valve, by the way, and you can see that you can kind of get into them a little bit. But I just haven't had the time to do that. I want to. Believe me, I'd love to. If I could fix them, then I could just fix it here in the field. And there might be some sediment or something in here, especially on these older houses. In fact, we should probably like open this up a little bit. So on these older houses with these old lines, you can turn the gas off to the house or anything recently? Has the gas been turned off to the house at all?
No.
That you can think of? Okay. So I get a lot of calls after the gas has been shut off to the house.
Okay, because it sends crap through there.
Because it sends crap through there, and it ends up coming through this line, and then it ends up going down this tube and blocking the pilot tube, or it ends up getting inside here and you know, leaving something forced open or forced closed. And
yeah, and I don't even know how long this has been outside. It originally was back in this back room right here.
Okay.
You could tell because there's like the perfect setup, and even the exhaust valve, the exhaust pipe is right there and everything. Okay. So I know it was originally inside the house, and then eventually, obviously, they moved it outside. So
for room,
I don't know how even old or new those gas lines are.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, still, it's hooked up to the house system, so you know everything goes back to the meter, right?
Yeah.
And then back to the street, and you can see they're doing a lot of construction around here. It could be sediment. I mean, they could just go bad. Could be the board, you know, telling it to. Who knows? Right? Who knows? But when in doubt, just swap it out. And that was my motto. But it's used, so the valve I'm putting in is used.
Yeah.
So you could go 3 months before it starts having a problem. Could go a month or something like that. I want to tell you, you know, if it was new, I'd feel better about it. But I put new ones in that have done that too. So people that do have their water heater still under warranty, you know, they send me a picture and I'm like, oh, it's a 2018 or a 19 or a 20 or whatever. I go, just call Rheem and Rheem will send you a replacement valve, but you got to wait 5, 6, 7 days with cold water. So sometimes people will have me come out, change the valve, just put a used one in, and then they'll keep the new one as a backup. in case that one goes bad.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Yeah, well, yeah, not a bad idea. But sometimes the new ones are defective too. I'm not down low enough to see that. We'll probably have to purge it a little bit. I put a little air through. I tried to blow through the pilot tube. Sometimes those pilot tubes will get a little sediment in there, and if you can make that flame a little bit higher, then you'll get more voltage. So I figured I'd check that while it was disconnected. So hopefully we get a little more voltage out of it. So yeah, sometimes just cleaning them with water heaters. It's just a little bit of cleaning. Sometimes, you know, you clean stuff off a little bit, and you can keep it going. Sometimes the parts are just shot. Sometimes it's a leak, you know, just like catastrophic inner tank leak. All right. That's the color you're looking for, right? Blue?
Blue, there you go.
Blue is what we want. You remember where you usually set it at?
Right about where you have it.
Okay.
I know you're not supposed to put it at very hot because 2 reasons. 1, you could scorch yourself if water gets you up, but also
yeah.
2, you're wasting gas keeping that super hot all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I keep mine at B, which it's, you know, it's kind of like a clock. So I keep it pretty much right in the middle, and that's plenty hot for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people live like, no, as hot as you can go.
Yeah.
Like, you're crazy.
With inflation nowadays, I'll take what I can get where I can save money. If I can save a little bit of money on gas, I'm keeping a little bit lower.
Oh, hell yeah.
And keep my grandkids from scorching themselves.
I've seen people turn this thing to between low and hot and keep it at like barely.
Just enough.
Just enough to have warm water all the time.
I'm not seeing a blue light.
Is it going? Let's see. I don't think so. What happened? I thought I was getting out easy today.
So that blue light is supposed to be solid?
No, it'll flash.
Oh, it flashes.
Yeah, it flashes once every second. Blue is basically normal operation. So if it comes up blue, it should be normal, which it did. It came up blue. Maybe I just turned, I don't know. Your voltage is a little lower than I'd like. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't seem like, I don't think it's pumping out gas. I don't think it's putting out gas. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. Alright, we're not going anywhere yet. So it could be I put a bad valve on there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch these circuit boards over and try the other one and see if it comes up. Because it's not engaging the valve, and then it's giving us a hard time about the voltage. Which could be Could be the thermopile's bad, or it could be the motherboard is. The motherboard is bad, or the circuit board. You now have a Bradford White water heater. But I got a bunch of valves in my truck, so no worries. Okay. Oh, I gotta get some knee pads or something.
Yeah.
It's open here. Otherwise, I'm gonna change the valve. I think it's a bad valve. So we'll do it again. Luck.
Just when you thought you were getting off easy.
I know, yeah. For every easy one or a couple easy ones, you get one that you're there for like, hour and a half. 2 hours. Changing parts out.
Is it this? Is it that?
Everything checks out. You measure everything. Everything's fine. And then you're just like, what the... Yeah, they can go down like it can go down like that for sure. Check this. Yeah, I've seen that before too. Where these get blocked, like a little roach or something's in there just blocking it, and it doesn't cause it to kick over. Kicked out with me. Be right back. And we're back with valve number 2.
Cross our fingers.
Let's cross them. Yep. I got 2 more in the truck, so. Getting closer.
This is not, too laborious to switch those out.
No.
Could be worse, I guess, right?
No, yeah, it could be. Could be pulling in the burner assembly in and out all the time. That's a pain. Because you've got all the connections of the valve plus all the connections of the burner assembly. So it's just like 4 screws, and then you gotta switch over because now they put a nut on here. What do you do? It's just like, it happens. This valve's got to be good.
So what is that part with that wire? Is it like another little sensor in there or something, or
Which one?
that one you're plugging in right now?
That's the chamber sensor.
That's the
And
chamber
I'm glad you pointed it out, because if I forget to do it and it gets a 9 flash, it's like a pain in the ass. Even if you pop it in, it's still. It's these circuit boards get like they get the errors, and they etch them in there, and they're hard as hell to get out. Some of them. 9 just happens to be one of those. So I'm glad you brought that up, because before I fire it up, you've only got a few seconds to click that thing in there before, because it's doing its whatever calculations
Right.
and all.
It's waking up.
Yeah, it's waking up. Don't be the thermopile, because I definitely don't have one of those. Actually, I kind of do have one of those. I decided not to put my tools away, because that's the jinx move, right? You put all your tools away.
Right. As soon as you clean up, think you're done.
Yeah. As soon as you clean up, think you're done. Okay, so it's blue. Just wondering if it's counting up so slow. Firing it up too fast. So I'll wait a little bit. Let that voltage kind of tick up a little bit more. Yeah.
I will not even lay back down.
No, I learned a long time ago to get that thing out of my.
Smart move.
Yeah, I think it's on now.
Oh yeah.
That was it.
That big wolf spider. We're in the neighbor's yard? Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so thermopile voltage while running is 527. That's enough voltage. Doing a service call, Bradford White. I got it lit, the igniter. Kind of. There we go. No high temperature shutdown. I tried to push the button here. Nothing wrong with the button. Probably the valve. Excuse me. Is what I'm thinking. We're going to call it on this one. because there's nothing to fix. And we'll see if we get called back out here again. Appreciate you watching. Consider subscribing. I do service calls, water heater installations. I sell water heaters, I fix them. And this is basically just lighting the water heater. But the clicker. Oh. Hold on a second. She shut off. Hold the phone. We blew the pilot light out somehow. Easy money. All right. Have a great day.